when we talk about the problem with procurement, supply chain management, etc., we look at the existing way as kind of like a long and winding path, right? So if you want to procure a subcontract package, for instance, you're probably using a tech stack that definitely includes Excel. You're not getting away from that.
Go Excel.
Yeah, Word, I don't know, SharePoint, OneDrive, PDFs, it's going on email, it's coming back, right? And that's as you issue out your tender, you receive your quote, you do your tender addendum, you do your meetings, you do X, Y, and Z, you then issue a contract. So all of those steps are all on a completely fragmented tech stack, which screws you over when you then have an audit trail problem. Like there's a dispute. What happened? What was said at stage 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? So there's nothing there. Data, you're not capturing any data. And like this goes from an SME all the way to tier ones. Tier ones will have all of their tender analysis on one QS's
hard
Excel
drive
on their hard drive. He or she leaves all that.
It's crazy.
It just disappears, right? And we speak to all these tier ones, say, show us your data, and some of them will like puff out their chest and say, "I'll show you the data," and they will have just single line item saying 13 million pound subcontract without any of the data behind it. So anyway, all of those different points. So you're talking about improving the data, improving the audit trail, and then saving a QS time, because about a third of a QS's time is spent on manual, unproductive tasks, right? So going, where was that in that Excel spreadsheet? Copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste. QS's in the UK, since I started my career back in 2007, there's always been like 5,000 to 10,000 vacancies for QS's, which is great if you're a QS because supply and demand means you get a pretty good salary, right?
Exactly.
But if you're a main contractor, subcontractor client, and you're paying for a QS at silly money, in my opinion. Sorry to
you're right, and it's getting worse.
It's getting worse, right?
It's unbelievable.
And a third of their time is spent going copy paste, copy paste, copy paste. So wrap all of that up. I realize I'm rattling on a little bit, but if you have poor audit trail, poor data, and a lack of QSs, and you're spending a fortune on them, what we saw as an opportunity was to create a space where you don't have that long and winding path. You have everything all in one single space. You capture the data, you capture the audit trail, and you save your QSs a third of their time. We actually think that you can save up to 47% of pre-construction activity.
So C-Link facilitates the tendering process, downstream analysis, communication, all of that aspect of that, finding your subcontractor or main contractor, perhaps.
Exactly. I mean, it's to be honest with you, we're kind of procurement agnostic, right? So you could be a client procuring a main contractor, you could be a main contractor procuring a consultant, you could be a subcontractor procuring a subcontractor. You can do whatever you want, right? And the principle is simple, that one, you have your supply chain in a single space, all the pre-qual data in a single space, as opposed to on an Excel document or in someone's head. And then you have all of your tender documents, all your contract documents in one space, and the automation from there. So it's basically cradle to grave, your supply chain to a contract placed digitally with a DocuSign on it.
I actually started my career as an estimator.
You lucky devil. Should we be talking?
Yeah, I'm telling you, right. So the generation of tender packages, and back in the day, what we were doing were photocopying drawings, folding drawings, printing out your parts, your BOQ, or photocopying your BOQ, going, these items only, not these items, I was thinking about when you were talking there, have we actually really improved the process when you have to go, you're going from desktop to Excel to email to, it could be SMS, it could be phone calls.
Exactly.
Your communication trail is as bad as it was when we were sending out posts, or even worse, Fax machine was a revelation, I think, at least you had the communication back and forth.
Even if you think about, one of the things that gets used a lot is WeTransfer, or Dropbox or OneDrive or whatever, right? It works, doesn't it? But then a WeTransfer link expires, a Dropbox folder, if I'm the subby and you're a unscrupulous main contractor and we're having a dispute about whether or not a drawing was in a folder or not, you can just go and pop it in there, can't you? And say it was always in there. WeTransfer link expires. So you just need a digital footprint for everything.
Yeah, it is an interesting point. If you have so many points of contact in a digital workflow, surely there's a better, more efficient way of working, and maybe question yourself about that. I think